Here with Kara Nance today, and we're talking about energizing your career through strengths. Kara, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, as always. How are you, my friend?
I am good. I'm excited because harmony's my 4. So we get to talk about a strength that's in my top 5. So this is a good day.
Absolutely. I hear you. Yeah, it's 12 for me. So it was a fun little stretch. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's how that shows up. I forgot about that. So,
Yeah, right. So we know that people typically use their top 10 to 12-ish strengths. So it's sneaking right in there for you and something you definitely pull from, right?
Yeah, I definitely call upon. I'm enjoying thinking of our top dominant themes as the tools in the toolbox, the tool shed, if you will. And I've definitely pulled from this tool quite a bit. I am the middle child of between 2 boys growing up.
I am too.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, what fun. There you go. Yeah. So as I was reading through, I was like, I'm going to tip my hat to that experience because I was definitely I've been seen as the peacemaker in the family, and it definitely fit for sure. So, but as I've gotten older, I don't know if I still hold that. Maybe that's why it's 12 for me. Like I've lost some of the peace. I don't know. How about for you?
I don't know if I used it as much in my family as I know that I used it for sure in work.
Okay.
And use it consistently, with work. But you know how that is with your top strengths. They come so naturally that you just pull them out and use them at random, right? When you need them. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So most of my examples truly they'll come from work. We've got a calm family.
Nice. Right. There you go. There you go. Yeah. And like the title of our series it's what energizes you. Right. So I can definitely see where it can be a little more taxing for me to call upon my harmony theme high, where it's a little like, okay, here I can put on that hat, and so I find a whole lot of joy from it. Not often, If it turns out great, then yes, I enjoy it. But if it still stays in rocky land, like, well, that's a bummer,
Well, that's a bummer to anybody that's high in harmony, I got to tell you. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm in good company.
Yeah, when we can't solve the problem, it's, kind of takes a little ding at you, and, so it makes you feel bad when you can't make that work. So
let it go.
I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell everybody else what harmony is, okay?
Absolutely.
So I'll read the definition.
Okay.
People who are especially talented in the harmony theme look for consensus. They don't enjoy conflict. Rather, they seek areas of agreement. And, I got to tell you, sometimes I have a little bit of an issue with that part of the title about they don't enjoy conflict. But I've kind of gotten to a point where I do understand that thought, because when I feel conflict coming up, it's almost like I can feel the hairs raise, right?
Right.
So I want people to just be a little bit, to at least think about the fact that it might be a tad bit uncomfortable for conflict, but it may not be like you don't like it. Does that make sense? It's
like it doesn't shut you down. It's just like, oh man, we have to do that. All right, let's do it.
In fact, if anything, I think it kind of raises my little spidey sense to go, oh,
spidey senses. Yeah.
We need to do something here. Yeah. So it almost calls upon the harmony. Yeah.
Awesome.
So give people a visual.
Yeah, I appreciate your insight to help me out with this one today. The Kieran, is that what the?
Yeah, I can never say that word right, but I do have an example.
Even better. The visual has 1,000 words, right? So that wonderful piece right there. Yes. Yeah.
So the Kieran is, just for people that have never seen these, it's when you're on a hiking trip, anytime you see through the woods or through mountains, hikers will put these up to help people kind of navigate through and make sure they stay on the path. And I think it's a perfect example of really what people with harmony do, right? They're really pretty practical, where they want to just make sure that, people don't fight for just fighting's sake, that they kind of stay the course.
Right. Channel your energy wisely. If you are going to have a conflict, let's make sure that it's with purpose.
Yes, I love that. That's exactly it. You nailed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you see harmony showing up in work, Kara?
Yeah, so again, shout out to Cascade, the Cascade reports. I went to my database, as I've been known to do. It's like, okay, who do I know who has harmony theme high, and right away, those who I know with harmony theme as their number one dominant theme, and it was instantly clear. So one of the examples, actually, two teammates on former teams I've been on, both of them separate teams, but offered the gift of when there was a project where a bunch of all of our different viewpoints from throughout multiple teams were important to create this product and this whole new experience. They were the lead on that project to say, okay, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And did it with such grace. And it wasn't, it felt like, oh, thank you so much for wondering what I'm thinking. Had no idea that it was leading to this huge project, and that we would. And because we all got to speak to what our perspective of it, it created even more buy-in when the initiative was rolled out. And there was still room and space for, okay, now that this product that has everybody's thoughts around it, whether you know it or not, here are all the elements put together. Is there anything else that needs some improvement? And throughout the whole process, I was like, what else needs improvement? What else improve? To truly harmonize and bring together the collective experience. So it was
and really what you're saying in there is she helped bring the common elements together.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that you could have a great discussion around that, which I love, because it's kind of she kind of got proactive with her harmony, which I love.
Very much. And both of them, the two that I'm thinking of, and really three, it's really powerful, like you've pointed out, taking away what wasn't working. Like, let's be efficient with our time and our energy. Let's use what actually has high impact. Also, what haven't we ever done that might have even more impact, and move forward that way. Yeah. How about for you?
Yeah, so for me, I would say, because it's high, I really looked at when I worked with teams, and usually for me, I worked with, I was in marketing, so I always worked with all the other departments. And at times we had conflicting priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we were working on a project together, we might have been working on that project for different reasons.
Right.
And for different outcomes. And I think what I brought to the table on that is helping other people not only see what the conflicting priorities were, but understand why those people had different priorities. Mm-hmm. So it was really kind of opening people's eyes to maybe their viewpoint is important. So let's kind of keep everything in mind as we move forward and bring them into the into the pile of what we're considering.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm thinking about what you were sharing a little bit before we got on live, that important piece of the practicality of this thing, taking the emotion out of these decisions and as best as possible, which I think is so powerful, and a little bit of a made me look, like a bit of a juxtaposition, because harmony is within the relationship building domain. And it's a little counterintuitive thing, like, wait a second, emotion out for relationship building. And it's like, no, it helps us bring together the meat, right? Get to the meat of it.
It does. And you think about it, it really helps. When you think about the practical side and you take the emotion out, it just makes it easier to move forward, because now you're kind of on even ground.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That dragnet. Just the facts. Just the facts,
ma'am.
Yeah.
All right. So for people that have harmony, what type of work should they look for?
Yeah, I feel like I took the easy way on this one, and that's of a mediator type of role. And that doesn't have to be in your job title or job description per se, but anywhere on, whether it be your team or another cross-department team, or wherever you are, where you're able to use those spidey senses, like, ooh, I feel something brewing right now, where you are able to offer up your beautiful gift and saying like, pause, my friends, let's just take a moment and move forward strategically, rather than just, whoever's idea is the loudest wins,
Yeah, and I can tell you, this on any teams, there's going to be conflict. So I don't know that you can avoid using this strength when you've got it.
Right. And conflict makes us stronger, right? Like
Yeah.
conflict is healthy as long as we are channeling it in a healthy way, right? And using it.
Absolutely. So I think you've got lots of opportunity to use harmony, but it's a relationship building skill, as you said. You need people.
Right.
You need to be around people. I think it's as easy as that. And I would say the only caveat that I would give to that is, if you get into situations that are conflict that you don't have control over, I think that would be something you want to possibly avoid. And, of course, for me, politics comes into play, because, you don't have, people have such intense feelings around it. I think that would be possibly a tough environment to be in.
Yeah. And if your life is called to that service, let's go with the politics piece. I was thinking another way to balance that out is to really, and I feel that all of us as human beings should really prioritize this, but especially in this example of really making sure that your cup is full. So really being tuned into self and what is depleting for you versus what really fills you up, and to make sure that you are going into those spaces truly cup full, whatever that self cup filling, rejuvenating, restorative practice is for you, that you're going in as full as possible, because it sounds like from what you're saying, Kristen, that it would quickly deplete. And
I think so. Okay. And I think, Kara, too, it also lends itself to thinking about having a mature harmony and really practicing that, and knowing when you're in those situations that sometimes you're going to have to be, it's okay to disagree and to allow yourself to move on, which I will tell you, as I've gotten older, that's been a lot easier for me, where I can go, you know what, I'm not going to win this battle, and I can't get them to the other side. So we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Right. Yeah. One of my favorite questions, I'm 43 now, and it's been around for a while for me. It's one of my favorites, is at what cost?
I think that's hugely important. Agreed. Yeah.
And again, that's self-awareness. At what cost? Because at what cost to you might not be the same for the other human. And that's great. Like, you don't have to. It's all good. just to thy own self be true and move forward. So.
Hallelujah, sister. All right.
I love our time together.
I know. And for those out there, the reason we do this is we want you to be able to raise your hand and choose to do the types of activities that energize you, make you happy in your career. So we will see you next week, and we'll talk about another one of our favorite strengths.
Awesome. Sounds good. See you next week.